Hello and welcome to Easy Flow Yoga for cyclists and runners, or as I rather call it, Paul's Awkward Easy Flow Yoga, because the yoga that I do does not necessarily look very pretty. I am not a 25-year-old former dancer. I'm a 58-year-old cyclist and runner who's broken a lot of bones, and so I don't move very well, but that's exactly why I do this yoga and exactly why I became an instructor, because I always thought there needed to be more people who looked like me, who moved like me, teaching yoga so that we felt like, well, there's a place for us. All right, so what we're going to do today is start in a child's pose and then move to our flow, which is going to be some lunges. And so I'm going to do some modifications along the way. But for child's pose, we're going to start with our knees wide, our big toes together, and sit your butt back towards your heels to start. All right, I'm just going to get comfortable here. You may not be able to get this far. You may have your knees up here. It doesn't matter. Child's pose is a rest pose, but we kind of use it as a way of mobilizing your hips and your shoulders a little bit. From here, we're going to stretch out our hands. If this is too much, you can always bring your elbows down. You can also have a block to put on your forehead. So our inhale is to come up a little bit, and the exhale is to try to straighten our back. And you're going to feel that in your hamstrings and in your glutes as you try to reach forward and lengthen. And then again, we're inhaling into our nose, into our belly, and then letting our belly relax and letting the air just come out of us. All right, so from here, we're going to come into just a little mini flow that involves coming into a Cobra. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do, and we're going to do it a few times. And I'll show you some modifications. So we're going to inhale, and we're going to come up and then come into a Cobra pose and drop our hips. Our arms stay straight, and then we'll look up. And the inhale is to lift your hips up a little. The exhale is to let your hips fall and let your spine grow long. All right, so we're going to inhale and we're going to come back into a child's pose. Get my knees wide again. So you have some options if you're doing this. And the option is simply to come up and then just come as far forward as you can. Or you can come forward into a Sphinx pose from here. But the point is to be moving your hips back and forth. All right, so we're just going to come back into the Cobra. We're going to inhale, come into a Cobra, and exhale. Hold this a couple spots. Inhale and push back to a child's pose. If you really want to get into this, and if you're feeling so inclined, you can do this from a downward dog into a Cobra, but we're not going to get that serious. This is going to be our warm-up for our breath and our movement. Just moving our hips back and forth. All right, so we're going to come back into a child's pose. And exhale. And we're going to come up into tabletop, but really we're just going to extend our hands and come into a downward dog. And again, if downward dog is too much, you can just be in a puppy pose, which again is just being from here, keeping your knees on the mat. Downward dog again is all about being an inverted V from your hips to your hands and from your hips to your ankles. What we are going to do today is inhale, bring your left foot forward, drop your right knee, and we're going to come into a low upright lunge. All right, so again, if you want to have something underneath your knee, you can do that. I'm going to keep my hands on my left knee just for the moment. You can also have your hands on your hips. If you're really brave and your balance is really strong, you can have your hands up into the air, but I'm not quite to that point. Okay, so the goal here is to be moving forward on the exhale so that your knee is over your ankle. So we're going to inhale, bring our hips back, exhale, roll forward. You're going to feel this all the way up the front of your right hip. Okay, we're going to do one more of these. And then you can grab a block or a book or whatever you have, or you don't need it, you can use your knuckles. And you're going to bring both arms inside of your knee. So you're going to be holding, this is called a lizard lunge. Doing the same thing with your hips. So sometimes it's just easier to have a block. And you're going to feel this more now. You're still going to feel this in the front of your right thigh, but your left hamstrings are going to get a little bit more spicy. Oh, I didn't tell you my joke. How do astronomers organize parties? They plan it. No, that's dumb. Okay, good. Now we are going to do the lizard twist. So I'm going to flip over to the other side. You can stay where you are. And I'm going to leave my right hand on the mat. My left hand's going to come to my left knee. Now I can leave this here because the goal is to inhale, bring your hips back, and then the exhale is to lift your left shoulder up and look up. And you can continue this, or you can bring up your left hand. You can even start to drop your left knee open. So inhale, bring everything back. Exhale, rotate up. All right, so now we're going to come from here. We're going to drop the hand, curl your right toes, and then bring your left foot back into a downward dog. Good, now we're going to bring our right foot forward and drop our left knee. And I'm going to flip around again. And now my left knee is on the mat, my right foot is forward, and my right knee is over my right ankle. Inhale up, exhale back. And now I'm feeling this in my left quad in front of my left hip, my hip flexors. You never want to force this. Just want to let your hips come forward. Good. Do a couple more of these, and then we're going to come, and this is going to be our flow, and we're going to move just a little more quickly. Okay, good. Now we're going to come into the lizard. So we're going to either use the block or our knuckles or our hands, and have my right elbow is now inside of my right knee. Good. And I'm just going to roll forward like this. There you go. One more time. Good. Now, leave your left hand down. Right hand comes to your right knee. And again, you've got a lot of options here. You can just rotate your shoulders and look up. You can also bring your right hand up into the air. You can also drop your right knee open. All right, let's do one more breath here. Good. Bring your right hand down, curl your left toes under, and bring, that's not good. Oh boy, here we go. And come into a downward dog. All right. Just going to keep working your breathing, inhaling and exhaling, pushing down your heels. Good. We're going to inhale, bring your left foot forward, right down. We're going to come into the low lunge. I'm going to try to bring my arms up this time, because we're not going to spend much time here. Inhale and exhale. Good. I'm going to inhale. I'm going to bring my hands down to the lizard. I'm going to be on my knuckles. Good. I'm going to inhale, bring my hips back, left hand on my left knee, rotate. Good. I'm going to bring my hands back down to the mat, curl my right foot under, come back into the downward dog. And I'm going to bring my right foot forward, inhale, and then exhale, right foot forward, drop my left knee, roll up, bring my arms up if I can, otherwise have my hands on my hips. Inhale, come forward. Exhale to the forward, inhale, come back, exhale, roll forward. Inhale, bring my hands down to the mat, into the lizard. Inhale forward, and then exhale forward, inhale back, exhale forward. Leave your left hand on the mat, bring your right hand up into the air. Good, and then we're going to do that one more time. Inhale, and then on the exhale, bring your hands back down to the mat, bring your right foot back into a downward dog. Okay, so we'll do that one more time. Good. Inhale, lift up your left foot if you can and bring it forward. Drop your right knee, come into the low lunge. Inhale and exhale forward. Bring your hands down into the lizard. You can let your knee drop if you can. Inhale back, exhale forward. Inhale, leave your right hand on the mat, bring your left hand up into the air. And exhale, good. Bring your hands back down, curl your right foot under, bring your knee up and come back into a downward dog. Bring your right foot up, inhale, exhale, bring it forward, drop your left knee, roll up to low lunge. Inhale, throw your hands down to the mat into a lizard. Inhale, leave your left hand on the mat, bring your right hand up into the air, lizard twist. Good. Bring your right hand back down, curl your left toes, bring yourself back into a downward dog or a puppy pose. And then bring your knees to the mat, and we're going to come into a seated position, mostly. And we're going to do just a seated twist. We were all doing kind of forward things except for the twist, but what we're going to do is extend your left leg, bring your right over. We're going to do a seated twist. Right hand's going to come behind you. How you do this. Your left elbow can come on the inside. It can be here. You can wrap around. Whatever works. The inhale is to open your shoulders. The exhale is to rotate your shoulders so that you're looking behind you. So you're going to feel this on the outside of your hips and in your lower back. Good. One more time. All right, switch legs. Now your right leg is extended. Left leg is over the top. Left hand comes behind you. And then again, you can have your hand on your knee. You can wrap an elbow around your knee. Whatever works for you. Inhale and then rotate and look behind you. Inhale and rotate. Inhale and rotate. All right. Finally, we are going to come into an easy pose so that you're basically in the seated position. If you are adventurous, you can come into the full pose with your foot on your thighs if you wish to, but that's way more than I can handle. And we're just going to do an easy pose forward fold. So with our feet like this, we're going to inhale, keep your back relatively straight, and just try to hinge from your hips. We're not trying to curl up and lean forward. We're just trying to keep our back straight. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm trying to do. And just keep forward. And you can have your hands on the ground. It's just easier when your hands are on the ground to curl your shoulders up. And so we're trying to, you can even keep your hands on your knees. So what we're trying to do is just let the hips open up even more. Good. All right, now we're going to change feet so that we alternate what's going on, and we're going to do the same thing. And you're going to maybe feel the same thing, maybe feel different. Inhale, come forward. And then forward. Good. All right. Bring your hands to your side. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead, hands together, and then hands to heart center. Thank you for joining us today. Namaste. Thank you for joining. This is the second class for the Easy Flow, or the Paul's Awkward Easy Flow, yoga flow. If you have questions about yoga or strength training or coaching, set up a virtual coffee. The link is below us here in the description. If you like what you're seeing, put a like, subscribe, and check out simplendurancecoaching.com for more information about all of the things that we offer to help you as an endurance athlete, as a runner or cyclist, to become stronger, fitter, and generally healthier. All right, thanks for joining us. Take care of yourself.